Welcome to Down with Yami, the podcast where we celebrate the journey of special needs parents. I'm Yami, your host, and I'm excited to share my journey with you. Whether you're looking for support, inspiration, or just a community that understands, you're in the right place. Remember, you're not alone, and together we can talk about our tears, triumphs, and everything in between. So settle in and let's get down to it with today's episode of Down with Yami. Welcome to Down with Yami, where we get straight down to what special needs parents really go through. I'm Yami, and today's episode, How Did I Get Here? I will share my personal story and the twists and turns that led me to this very moment. I want to share all my experiences from the challenges and the unexpected blessings that really shaped my path along the way. So grab a seat and let's get down to it. I faced a lot of challenges in my life. One of them was becoming a mom at 17. That experience, although it was very disappointing for my parents, it actually changed my life for the better. And fast forward to 26 years later, I was here now pregnant with my fourth son, Noah, and receiving that Down syndrome diagnosis was a pivotal moment in my life. It changed me in so many ways and had a profound effect in my life because I had to embrace the journey of becoming a special needs mom despite what doctors had told me. Growing up, I understood what Down syndrome was. I knew what it was because my mom had a friend who had a younger sister that had Down syndrome. And she was older than me, but she acted like she was younger and she was funny, adorable. And I knew she was different. And that's what I loved about her. So to me at that time, having Down syndrome came with a specific appearance and developmental delays. As time went by, my perspective on it totally shifted, and I realized that each person that has this has their own experiences and individuality, which is what makes their condition their condition. In the end, I knew that the final decision would rest with me and I had to follow my heart. And I really felt that this baby was special. I really did. Even when I briefly contemplated the idea of terminating, I even looked into clinics that would have services for the child that you were aborting. And it sounds sick, but I was about 6 months pregnant when this was happening. So I felt this baby was a full baby. That was something that was difficult for me because if I terminated, I wanted people to know who this baby was. I wanted him to be someone because I felt already that he was somebody. I felt that he was special. It took a couple of months for me to process the diagnosis. And despite just everything that I was being told, I was not willing to terminate. I was still going through with the pregnancy. And every week we would go to these weekly checkups, and there was one bad news after the other. I swear I would dread going to these appointments because I knew that nothing good was going to come out of it. My husband was going to be upset. I remember vividly the day that I got my Down syndrome diagnosis. I had a spa at the time and I opened up early. We always set up early before clients came in. And I remember it was just me, my aunt, and one of the workers at that moment. And my aunt had stepped out for a sec and my phone rang and it was the doctor. And I remember a wave of excitement when I got the call because the reason why I got the genetic test to begin with was because I wanted to know the gender. I wanted to know if I was finally having a girl because I already had three boys. So when the doctor spoke and told me that the test came back and there was a huge indicator that my baby might have Down syndrome, the whole excitement turned into confusion. I was just like, what is going on? So I said, okay. I thought for a second that this had to be a mistake. It couldn't be serious. And maybe it was just a small percentage. So without thinking, I asked him, I said, well, what's the percentage? And he said 97%. When he said that, I just became silent and I said to myself, like, wow, 97 is pretty high. It's pretty high. So, he proceeded to say that he thought it would be best if I had more testing done, amniocentesis, which would be a little risky, but it would give me a more definitive result. So I said fine, and I was ready for the test. So as soon as I hung up, I was devastated. I looked around for my aunt and I realized she stepped out. So I ran out. I ran out the spot and I was running about a block when I spotted my aunt walking towards me. And I just got to in front of her. And when I was right in front of her, I just dropped. Like my head just fell on her chest and I was crying. And she's just like, what happened? What is going on? What happened? And I said to her, I said, doctors said that the baby might have Down syndrome. And my aunt, she gathered her thoughts and then she said, okay, all right. So the baby might have Down syndrome. That's okay. That's okay. You've raised three boys already. You've done an amazing job. You're going to do fine. If this is what God is giving you, you are going to do fine. You are going to do great. And that was the first sign of hope and encouragement that I received after my Down syndrome diagnosis. When I shared the news of the Down syndrome diagnosis with my husband, the reaction was very different from mine. He was so excited and thrilled about having another baby because we only shared one child. I had two children from a previous relationship, and then I had a son with him. And so this was going to be my fourth child. This would have been his second. So he was very excited. But as soon as I gave him the news about the diagnosis, it went from being thrilled to just uncertainty. And he had a lot of doubts. He had a lot of doubts. And one of the things that he said to me, he was like, listen, you just started this new business. I don't think this is going to be good for us. Your life is going to completely change. We're not ready for that. And basically was telling me that he didn't sign up for this. The hurtful part about it was, despite my diagnosis, not once did I consider terminating my pregnancy. I was definitely upset. I was definitely grieving the child that I thought I was going to have. But at the same time, I didn't give up on it. I wasn't ready to put it to rest. I wanted to continue with my pregnancy. So that was difficult. That was very difficult because my mom, who is someone I was very close with, who I'm still close with, she also took the news very hard. She broke down on the phone. I never heard her cry like that before. And she said to me, she's like, you can't have this baby. You're going to lose your business. And it seemed like the main concern was the business. It wasn't this child. And went from my husband not accepting it, my mom not accepting it, my mother-in-law not accepting it. So there was no support initially when I got the news, other than my aunt's encouragement when she said that, you got this, you can do this. So I was literally in a fight on my own with the people that meant the most to me. And that was very, very, very difficult for me. Very difficult. And he would be a little angry because I was still not telling him that I was gonna go and terminate. So it was bad. It was bad. I was running a business during the day. And at night, I was on the internet looking at Down syndrome children, looking at Down syndrome families and how they were coping with their child. I was obsessed with Down syndrome. And I did a lot of crying. I cried myself to sleep every night. One day I reached my breaking point. I just said, I can't do it anymore. I am tired of crying myself to sleep. And I remember the day very clearly. I was about to get in the shower. I was in the bathroom, about to get in the shower, and I was looking at myself in the mirror. And I just saw sadness. I just saw sadness. And I said to myself, Yami, you can't continue doing this. You can't continue doing this. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to have a heart to heart with God. And I said, okay, God, I said, okay, if this is the assignment that you have for me, I am ready. I am ready. But just know that I am going to need you. I am going to need you like I've never needed you before. I need you to give me strength. I need you to give me resources. I need you to give me clarity because I don't know what to do. I am broken. And I just sat there quiet and I took it all in. It was just a real let go and let God moment. And I remember getting in the shower. It was like a cleansing moment. And I just showered. And when I came out, I said, okay, we're going to have this baby. Once I made the decision to have this baby, everyone came on board. My husband was the most difficult one, but he said to me, he said, okay, you said you're going to have this baby. I want to go to the next appointment. I'm going to go with you and I want to sit in and see what they say. I said, okay. So we went, and what was scary about this appointment was that when I told my husband I was going to have the baby, I said, "Listen, I know you didn't want this, so if you want to leave, that's fine, but I'm keeping this baby. So if you want to leave, you can leave, but I'm going to have this baby." And he just stayed quiet. So now going into this appointment, it was like, okay, this is it. It's either he's going to stay or he's going to leave. We had an ultrasound, and when we did the ultrasound, we were looking at the baby, and the baby just looked like a regular baby. He didn't look any different from our previous child when we had an ultrasound. So after they did the ultrasound, he said, Yami, I don't know, but this baby looks strong. This baby looks like he's fighting. And as long as he's fighting, we're going to fight with him. And that was like the best thing I could have heard him say. And once that decision was made, everyone else came on board. Everyone else, from my mom, his mom. And it was just a very exciting moment because after the amniocentesis, I was told that it was 99.9% that my son Noah would have Down syndrome. So I knew that it was going to take a miracle for him not to have it. And I was looking forward to it. I was looking forward to it because I wanted to protect this child. I wanted to make him be the best child with Down syndrome that he could be. And I was happy to see that my village was coming together. That marked the beginning of our journey and the initial fight for Noah. And it has been a decision that I would not change for anything. It has had its ups and downs. It has definitely hasn't been easy, but I don't regret the decision that I've made. It has made me the person that I am today. It has allowed me to see the world very differently. And I get that from a lot of people, even my sons. They're like, Mom, Noah has brought a sense of joy and a different ray of light that we didn't feel before. So I do think that Noah was here for a reason. And this journey, as unique and crazy as it is beautiful. And I am so proud to be his mommy. If you are someone that just received a Down syndrome diagnosis, just know that there is no right or wrong decision. You just have to follow your heart, and the right decision will reveal itself. I just ask that you don't listen to the naysayers. It's about you because you're the one that is carrying this child. You're the one that has to fight for this child. So I personally don't regret my decision. It was the best thing I could have made. It was the most courageous thing I've done in my entire life. And I am so proud of it. I do believe that it does come with its ups and downs, and it's going to test you. It definitely will. But God always will provide, whether it's the emotional support, whether it's the financial support. God is going to provide. You just have to do your part and just take on the assignment. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. There are so many special needs parents out there, and there's a village. There is a village, whether it's support groups, whether it's other moms that you will meet along the way, whether it's at school, and just friends that also come into your life. I've made a lot of new friends, whether it was through therapy with Noah or just through social media. I've made so many new friends, and I think that that's just God sending angels my way that are helping me through this journey and just giving me that extra support that I need, because family's definitely there, but sometimes we don't feel the love from family, and we get it from other people, and it's okay. It doesn't matter where the love and the support is coming from as long as you're receiving it. Thank you for joining me, guys, on this journey today. And remember, every step that we take, no matter how challenging it is a step towards joy and understanding. Remember, you are not alone in this, and together we will get through all the ups and downs of this wild, messy, crazy, and fun journey. Together, we can navigate through this beautiful mess and celebrate all our victories and our struggles and lift each other up. Don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts with me. I love to hear from you guys. Until next time, stay down with me.